What's up, everyone? It is I, Zarkon, aka Fifth Rate Duelist, here with the ShadDOLLS podcast. Get it? Women? Haha. Ha 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 ha. I'm so clever. I stole that from someone. I forget who. It was like a group thing.
You stole it.
Well, it was like someone else was doing a women podcast, and then that was like one of the names. But then they picked the name Harpy Lady Sisters Podcast. But like I remembered the name ShadDOLLS, and then that podcast died, and I was just like, I want to start my own women podcast, and then I took the name. So
Fair. That's fair.
thank you to Women Group Chat. I started this podcast because I wanted to highlight women and non-binary voices in the community. And because I hate men. I'm kidding. Am I kidding? I don't know. That's what happened on the first episode. Is I said I started a women podcast because I hate men. And I thought it was a little obvious that I was joking. But a lot of people got really mad at me. So, whoops. Anyway, today's guest is ShadowRabbitYGO. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes. So my name is Naya. I go by ShadowRabbitYGO on the YouTube and every other social media. So I have a YouTube channel, a Yugioh YouTube channel, obviously, and it's mostly dedicated to everything meta. I'm just very passionate about, the TCG meta game, about tier lists, about just again when it comes to the TCG meta game stuff. I just from ever since I started, I wanted to create videos that really help people get into the competitive game and actually stay in the competitive meta game and just learn about what's going on, about everything pretty much that's important. So yeah, currently we hit 10,000 subs like literally a couple days ago, which
Congratulations!
So yeah, I mean that's pretty much me. You can check out my stuff. That's
Yeah, it's exciting. I do want to say a very big congratulations on the 10,000 because I've been following you for a while and seeing you grow. And I feel like it was yesterday when you were at 5,000 and then now you're at 10,000. And that's crazy. So that's a huge accomplishment. So congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Naya has a very strong following. I watch her videos too because I need to get better at this game. And so I was watching the How to Beat Trap Tricks video. But I'm not that familiar with the cards, so I have to read the cards and then go back and watch your video. Because I gotta beat that deck. I don't know. I gotta pray I have lands or I gotta strategize. So yeah.
It's annoying, yeah. Especially if you're playing Kashira. Yeah.
Yeah, that freaking floodgate travel just ends your life. My god. Yeah, but it's okay. We always have birth. Yeah.
True.
So, how'd you get into the game?
So I started playing in 2017. We got into the game together with my husband. Basically, we watched the GX anime because we are huge fans, and we played with his piles of cards that he had. He had a Gravekeeper's deck from when he was little, and then I just built myself a pile, and I kept losing. I got annoyed, so I bought myself Dino structure decks, the 3 structure decks. I literally went on YouTube and I found Simo's videos and Team Sam's videos. It's pretty much how we all get started, I think.
Oh yeah.
So I was watching the videos. I built a Dino deck. Then he got annoyed because he kept losing to the Dino deck. So he built Draco in 2017, which was full power Draco. And at that point in time, none of us knew that the metagame existed. We just accidentally built 2 of the best decks and just played at home. And then we traded for a couple of cards with someone, and we found out about locals, and we just stayed. That's pretty much what it was. We just loved it, and we've been just insanely competitive and just grinding ever since. So
That's nice. Yeah. I know the anime is true to many people's hearts, and GX was just so fun until, he became a psychopath genocide killer.
That's it's very sad, but I love it. I think it's the arc is just, it's amazing. And especially if you watch the last season that there was never translated. It just brings it full circle. I love it.
Oh yeah, I really want to watch the last season because I thought that Jaden died. And then, like, years later, there was that Yu-Gi-Oh movie. I think it's called Bonds Before Time. And Jaden was in it. And I was like, what the hell? I thought he died. Like, I cried so hard because I thought Jaden died. Like, and he didn't die. So.
I mean, I'm not sure if Bonds Beyond Time is canon though, but like, no, he didn't die. He literally just goes on to live with the cat Pharaoh, and like Yubel inside him, and just travels the world and deals with his like depression and stuff.
Oh wow,
so that's his deal.
Dude, that's relatable. I live with depression as well, except I don't have like spirits inside of me. I do have 2 cats though. That's kind of the same.
It's
thing.
pretty much the same, right?
Okay, so who's better at Yu-Gi-Oh, you or your husband?
Oh, he's better.
Oh,
like,
no,
sure.
that's not the right answer.
He is. I mean, like, he's insanely smart. He gets it very quickly. That's his thing. And he's also very good at, like, both combo and control. Therefore, he's always, like, he's just, whatever he plays, it gives him some kind of advantage. He's insanely smart, and he's just he helps me a lot. I like to believe that I'm getting better because of him and because of his help, and him explaining like some of the stuff that how he like I don't know thinks when he plays. But yeah, he's better.
Oh, right. I don't know. I was imagining like super wife duelist just crushing the husband.
I'm still the super wife duelist though, but like he's better.
Okay, that's fair. Do you, like, resolve your conflicts with duels?
No, that would be weird, I think.
Oh, okay. Dude, if I had a Yu-Gi-Oh husband, and it was like, whose turn is it to do the dishes? I would be like, let's do this.
Conflicts like that makes sense, yeah. But, like, actual conflicts, I don't know.
Yeah, not like, I don't know, like, should we invest in this company? That wouldn't be a duel worthy.
Right.
That's good. Okay, cool. Let's see. So, what's your favorite deck of all time?
So I really enjoyed Thunder Dragons. I loved playing that deck.
Nice.
And I also am a huge fan of Pendulum Magicians. So when I started playing in 2017, like I said, I got the dinos, and then everything was banned and hit. And I remember sitting in high school. I was in high school at that point in time, and I remember sitting in class, and I was like clearly crying because of the ban list, because I had no other deck to play, and I just got into this game that was so amazing, right?
Oh
and I was like crying, oh my god, Denglong is gone, and like Little Sagem is banned. I don't know what to do with myself. So then I bought the entire Pendulum Magician deck. I still remember to this day. I think it was like 90 euros or something. The entire deck, the entire extra deck, like generic rank 4 stuff. Like it was just amazing. It was the best deal of all time. And I played the deck, and that was back in Master Rule 4. So you would have to like special summon Cyframe Lord Omega in the extra monster zone, go effect, and then summon Baguska and pass. And that was like the power play with like the set pendulum graphs, the time and star pendulum graphs. And it was really cool. I really loved the deck. So yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, my heart is with Drytron, but my first deck was Gravekeepers. So, yeah, I started playing 10 years ago, I think. It was like right before Dragon Rulers came out. And I brought a Gravekeeper structure deck to locals, and I would play with it. But I was too broke to afford, like, good cards. So I would just play with these Gravekeepers cards. And, like,
so you had, like, one structure deck? Or did you combine 3?
Eventually I got more cards. But I started with one structure deck. Yeah.
That's really cool.
And I got second place on the weekend tournament once, and it was like amazing.
I mean, that's a great accomplishment, right? For Gravekeepers?
Yeah, well, Gravekeepers was really strong back then. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think. But then I quit the game because, like, the spell books came out, the Dragon Rulers came out, and I just couldn't afford these cards because I wasn't really working. I was like... Yeah, I was like tutoring for a living. And then I found my cards in my mom's garage like 10 years later. I had a Gravekeeper's deck and a Blue Eyes deck. And I would just like, I do comedy, and I would just find random comedians and be like, hey, do you want to play Yu-Gi-Oh with me? and I would give them a deck, and we would play. And then I found out about locals, and I went to locals, and there was a guy that sat with me for 2 hours explaining like links and pendulums and like
Wow.
those stuff. And I was like, wow. And then Graveskeeper's got new support, so a bunch of people gave me those cards, and they helped me with my deck, and it was the Eternal format. So
Right. Okay.
I was beating all these Thunder Dragon players because of Necker Valley, and with
Of course you were. Yes.
10-year-old Gravekeeper's deck that was like boosted by the new cards. It was so funny. So I love my Gravekeepers. Hey, Ice Rider. And I love.
I mean, like, actually, that's really funny because, like I said, my husband's first deck was Gravekeeper. So when we started playing, we also started to buy like cards for the Gravekeeper's deck. So it's hilarious that both of us invested in Gravekeeper's decks, like in the
know.
current meta.
Konami,
yeah.
please give Gravekeeper support. Well, I guess they
Yes.
gave the card.
They did. Yeah,
Yeah.
they did though. I
Yeah.
mean, they made a spell card like a couple years back. Like I forget what it's called, but all I
Yeah.
know is that it didn't exactly make Gravekeepers viable. So
Yeah. Yeah. Gravekeeper's inscription is surely Gravekeeper support.
of course.
Yeah. Those good times. And then, yeah. Okay. So, when you started in 2017, and then you went to locals and you started being competitive, like, when was it? Like, how did you get better? Like, what made you a better player?
Honestly, just we spent a lot of time playing. So that was 2017. So we got married in 2017. I was still in high school. I moved to him, like to his place. So we were already living together, like literally playing every single day, and we went to locals twice a week. So we were
Okay.
just grinding, you know. We were playing a lot, and I do believe that it takes a lot of time. And it took him about, I don't know, a couple months, I think, to get his first top. And it took me about a year or something. So I think it's pretty much just a lot of time. And I think it's also a lot of commitment is important. Like if you're like trying to get into the game, but not really trying to get into the game, you're probably going to quit because it's just too much. It's way too overwhelming, especially for someone new. Like I
Yeah.
didn't know how to play. Like he literally taught me how to normal summon, special summon. We were like going through the binder, and he was teaching me like rarities of cards because I had no idea like what any of it meant. And
Oh, wow.
so yeah, if you start from scratch, like literally you need to grind.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, coming back to
Yeah.
the game, it was a lot. It was a lot. But,
So like, how long did it take you? I mean, you said that, yeah, I mean, you were grinding for a couple hours in locals, but like after that, you probably had to play a lot more to get into it again.
so let's see. Eternal format, I was playing with Gravekeepers, and then I did what you did. I went online and I went to Simo's channel, and I learned about Salamangreat. And he showed
okay.
a budget list, so I managed to get 3 Salamangreat structure decks for $37. Because we bargained. We bargained
course.
good. And then, but like I couldn't afford Insight Mining, I couldn't afford like a lot of cards, so, but like it was so hard. Like I remember watching Simo's videos to do the combos, and I just couldn't figure out the combos. And like when I went to locals, I would draw or like lose because it took me so long to play because it was so hard. So I ended
Yeah,
up
of course.
quitting. And then pandemic came, and then Tracy Cakes hosted a women tournament. And since it was online, I didn't have to worry about buying cards. And I learned about the Invoke Dogmatica deck, which was like pretty easy to play. So I started playing that, and then I learned about the ShadDOLL cards from Pack's channel because he was doing his balling on a budget with the ShadDOLL structure decks. And so I got a little bit of money in, so I spent it all on like Invoke ShadDOLLS. And then that's when I started to play, like, sort of competitively. I was playing with a budget
Mm-hmm.
deck. And so I started my Road to YCS series because I had always been too afraid to go to YCS. Because I was
Okay.
like, I suck, I can't play, I don't know, blah, blah,
Mm-hmm.
blah. And then I started doing remote dual locals. And
Mm-hmm.
I remember I got like sixth place, and then fifth place, and then second place, and then I won. And
That's really nice.
yeah, then I got a sponsor, and then he helped me get Drytron cards. And like,
Uh-huh,
I'd
okay.
never played a combo deck. Well, besides Salad, but some people don't consider that a combo deck. But like, I
I don't know.
consider it a
Yeah,
combo
it's probably
deck.
not. I
But
mean,
yeah.
yeah, when you were starting, yeah, it probably seemed like a very complicated combo deck.
Yeah. And then I went to my first non locals tournament at Gamers Choice in New York, which was 200 people, and I got second place.
Uh-huh. You topped that, right? Yeah, I remember that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so that was like the biggest accomplishment of my life. I was just like, oh my God. And then I
That's really
proceeded to not
nice.
do well at the next YCS. But we haven't quite gotten to top yet. But you've gotten like many tops, right? And like wins.
Yeah, it's different for us, right? Because we only get regionals. Like I've only been to one big event, which was the NAWCQ in 2019, when we qualified and we went actually as well because with the regionals tops over here, we qualify as well for the Euros. But yeah, like as far as regionals go, after the pandemic, our regionals got much bigger, almost like twice the number that they were used to. Like they
Oh
used to be
wow.
like, I don't know, 30, 40 people. And right now we're getting like 70 to almost 80 people every month, which is really nice. And yeah, I mean, I won two of them and I topped like, I don't know, around 10 or something.
Oh wow.
So yeah, those are my accomplishments. Yeah.
That's nuts. Oh my God. I remember I got my invite for Nats. I got 18th out of 600 people. And that's
I
like
mean,
the
that's really
closest I've
nice.
gotten. But
That's amazing.
yeah, I'm searching for that top. And then at Mexico, YCS Mexico, you probably heard because I
Hmm.
posted about it everywhere. You know,
I did, yes.
we went 7-0. But I don't know, that format, like I practiced Kushira for like 6 weeks. I stopped going to locals. I stopped going to the gym. I just played like Kushira and versus Tier. I played with Polly. You know Polly?
I heard the name. I think probably like Ronson, something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that him? Yeah.
Yeah.
I only heard the name. Don't know him though.
Yeah, so he would play Tier and I would play Kashira. And then there were only a couple of decks in the format, so Kashira, Tier, and Flunder, which I knew how to play all of them. And so like
Mhm.
I just that format, like I just knew what to do. And I just beat everyone. Um and then the ban list happened and I was just like, God damn it. Now I'm not
Right,
beating
of
everyone.
course. You played YCS Mexico, which was what the only event that had like both ban lists actually. I mean both ban lists, like the set dropped, right? And
Yeah.
then the ban list was official. Yeah.
Yeah, that
I
format
mean,
was nuts.
it could be a nice format. I don't know. I was a fan of the tier format, but I wasn't opposed to like Ashira coming into the meta. But then with the ban list, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of this one right now. I
Yeah.
might be in a couple weeks' time. But yeah, comparing it to the tier format, I don't know. I like tier format.
Yeah. Oh my god, Tier was so powerful with the introduction
It
of the
was
tier limit Kushira. It was
it was
nuts.
insane.
It was like basically impossible to beat going second. So
For
I
sure.
had so much like tier hate. I was playing like 3D Fisher, 3 Gravekeepers, 3 Necro Valley. um, and I would just
Of
floodgate my
course.
way into winning. Because that was like
I
the
mean,
only
but you
way.
have to, right? Like you said, you knew what to do, and sometimes formats like that happen, especially if you're playing a deck that you know that's going to like beat the top deck. Like obviously, and if you grind it a lot, I felt that way with prank kits. So I got my two of my regional wins were with prank kits, and I felt that way when I was playing them. That was right around the time when, after that, the base deck came out and came to like B,
Yeah.
and then like the based version of prank kits and all of that. Although I never played that version actually. When I went to those regionals, I just played the regular, pranks with brave stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how I felt at that point in time. So sometimes formats like that happen. You know, you just know what to do, which feels great. Not always though.
Oh yeah. Yeah, tier 0 formats. It's also way easier to prepare for because like right
For
now
sure.
there's too many freaking decks. Like I'm struggling so hard. I need help. Like there's Despia, there's Trap Tricks, there's Labyrinth, there's Kashira, there's Naturia, there's Rune. There's so many decks, and I am struggling because I don't know how to play most of them. So I don't know.
I
what to
totally
do.
get you.
Do you have any advice?
Honestly, like what I think is like a really good move, although I haven't done it myself yet, is like to literally, I'm trying to because and it helps that I'm creating that kind of content. And I think the way to go is like to actually try to play and figure those decks out, not the deck that you're playing. So like when I'm making the videos like how to be trap tricks and how to be like whatever, I'll actually like try to you know figure the deck out, like literally read every single card, learn the combos, like just understand what's happening with the deck. And we talked about that also when I featured Joshua Schmidt on my channel. We talked about how you probably should play every single deck, even if it's only for like a couple hours.
Yeah.
And then when you know what to do, you also know like you know you're playing and then you're like, okay, at this point in time, if someone uses Ash or they use Imperm or whatever it may be, like I would be in a very bad spot right now. So then you know when to use it when you're up against them, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think that's like the best thing to do. Although not all of us are, you know, going to literally like play 6, 7 decks. Some of the most committed people probably, yeah. But I think that's like a really, really good piece of advice. So
Yeah. That's really smart. 'Cause I remember like back when Prankhead's Adventure was like a thing. Like I didn't know what deck to play, so I was playing all of them. I played Dragon Link. I
yeah.
played Prankheads, and like I didn't play them at a high level. Like Dragon Link was like really difficult, but like because I did play it, like I knew when to interrupt it, and like I was able to like kind of guess what my opponent was gonna do. So that was like really
Yeah.
helpful. But
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I did have a lot of people helping me for that. So
I mean,
yeah.
but that's great. Like that's very important. Like for example, with us, with me and my husband, his name's Emilio. I'll just say his name because it's weird referring to him, my husband, all the time. So, when we're playing, obviously, we both of us need the deck. So it's really good that you are sort of forced to play another deck as well. So when he was like picking stuff up like Dragon Link or whatever, I was always playing the decks as well, or at least for the most part I was. So, you can always do the same with your group of people that you're testing with or whatever. You can just, all of you just play the decks and then someone is testing their deck and you're playing like their worst matchup against them. And at the same time, like you're learning as well. So I think that's very helpful.
Yeah, yeah. It's just hard. Like I don't know what it is, but like someone was teaching me trap tricks and I don't know how to play the deck. Like they were showing me the combos.
Tricks.
Yeah, like everyone
mean-
says it's like an easy deck, but like I was struggling like a lot.
No, I totally understand. Like, I think it's in one of those decks where, like, yeah, you know what to do, like normal summon, I don't know, Mermello, go into Sarah, activate Holotea, whatever. But like, knowing when to disrupt the opponent, I think is like the most important thing when it comes to trap decks, obviously. So I totally get why it would be kind of hard to play because you can so easily make a mistake and like you're maybe locked or something with the backrow protection one, and you don't know. So I get why you would put yourself in a weird predicament, but like I think it's like one of those decks also that you're going to learn quite fast.
Okay.
How to do it. Like tier, for example, probably is not one of those decks. Like you would probably have to be grinding tier for a very long time to be good with it, unless you're like insanely smart. But I don't know, Trap Tricks just seems like one of those decks that you can quite easily grasp what you should be doing. I might be wrong though, but yeah.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, I think I will sit down and try to learn it. I did buy 3 trap trick structure decks, because
That's
my
smart.
locals only had 3 left, and I was like, I'll take them.
Yeah, sure.
And so, you know, yeah, I just, I don't know. Like, I was thinking about like playing Drytron. So I just went to locals. I played Drytron for fun. Hey, Jason.
Mm-hmm.
And like I was hoping that I would face Trap Drax because
Mm-hmm.
like I figure like if I play a deck that I'm like really familiar with, then like it's easier for me to learn the other matchup. But then
Mm-hmm.
there were no trap decks. I just played a bunch of Kashiras. And
Like, why aren't you playing Kashtira though? If you played it last format.
oh, I do play Kashira. I just played Drytron for
Okay.
fun.
Okay.
Yeah, because the thing is that like I feel like Kashira has a target on its back, and so I was thinking like one floodgate trap hole can like end your life, right? So I was thinking, okay, what about Drytron? Like I know how to play Drytron really well. You can lock people out of special summoning and monster effects, and that seems pretty strong. And then you can always OTK going second. You don't go to time because the games are so fast. And so, like, does Drytron have advantages in that it doesn't lose to the cards that Kashira loses to? So, like, I'm Nibiru proof because I can always stop Nibiru with the Vanities Ruler by the 5th summon. Or I can use my Chaos Max to stop them from using monster effects. So, I don't lose to Nibiru. And then it's like I don't lose to Floodgate Trap Hole necessarily because the Drytrons can't be set. And I can still tribute them even if they're face down. So that was kind of my logic, is that like maybe Drytron doesn't lose to the things that are common in the format that Kashira loses to. So let me try Drytron to see how that works. And then what advantages can I get with Drytron that like Kashira doesn't have? But I don't think I will be playing Drytron at the YCS.
All right. So why did you decide that after everything? Like, even though there are some like pros to playing Drytron.
Because I played against Polly and I lost 6 times. But also the thing is that like Drytron, like in theory, locking someone on a special summoning and monster effects is like very strong, but you can't do that every hand. Like you typically have to pick one. So I'll go for Vanity's Ruler. But Vanity's Ruler has the weakness, like I can set up one spell trap negate, but like it has the weakness that if they have 2 like books or something, then you lose. The Chaos Max is like really strong to stop them from monster effects, but it does lose to Nibiru. So you have to be like careful about that. And another thing is that I was finding that I was kind of exhausting my whole hand to do the combo because I want to like search Lancia off of Ben 10 or like an Orange Light. And so like I was starting my second turn without something to tribute. Like just so I could like end their turn before it started. And then the second thing is that like Kashira, like Drytron doesn't play hand traps. And so like if they lock all 5 spell and trap zones, I just lose. And then if they do a Rise Heart, like that's really tough to deal with because Drytron's very graveyard centered.
Of course.
Yeah. So
Yeah, okay. I get it.
and then I would have lost the game because he de-shifted me, but I had called by. And then I think like at locals, the Kashira players, like I was definitely better Kashira players than they were because they were making a lot of mistakes. And I think if they were playing properly, it would have been much more difficult to win. So I have to think like, okay, at a YCS, like the level of competition is going to be a lot higher. So the advantages I get from being experienced with Drytron would not matter as much because other people would be more experienced with their decks.
So you decided for Kashtira for the YCS, or you're undecided yet?
No, I'm probably going to play Kashira. I put too much time into it.
Okay.
But I'm not
I
sure
mean,
about
yeah,
my
like
list.
testing one deck for 6 weeks. I mean, that's a lot.
Yeah, I was real nice with Kashira. But like tier format, there was no Nibiru.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah, there was Imperm, but we always had Papaya. I mean, Theosis. Um, you know, it was just like it was just a really good format for Kashtira, but now that Kashtira has a target on its back, it's just like frustrating.
Yeah, I understand. Like you can go for only a Rice card, but then sometimes you're just gonna lose to one kaiju or something. Especially now that people have started to like have different types of going second cards, sort of like to be prepared for any Kashtira board that they're gonna face. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's much harder.
I think also I kind of got confused with Kashira because like I don't know when to like do full combo and when to do a Rice Heart Pass. Like I kind of just
Okay.
like feel it out. Like, because sometimes it's really obvious when your opponent has Nibiru because they'll like put their cards down and fold their hands over and pretend like they don't have any hand traps, and it's like, okay, you obviously have Nibiru. But like sometimes you can't tell and you get kind of blindsided, and then I just don't know, like I just got confused because I was like, I don't know how to play this. Like, I don't know whether I go full combo or whether I do a Rice Heart Pass. And, like, I just got confused. So, yeah.
I mean, sometimes it's very hard to tell. Like I'm struggling with the, like the reading the opponent part of things. I think it's really difficult. So
Yeah. Yeah. I think, like, at locals, it's, like, easier to read people because you know them.
yeah, like you know everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's sort of like, you can tell, like, whenever it's, like, they have a good hand or, like, you know, stuff like that. Yeah. So, I don't know. I think also, like, for the Kashira for Mexico, I did make my own list. I got help from Polly and Walter Jewell. They helped a lot. But it was my list. And I don't know if it was very good, but it did the job. But like now it's sort of like I don't feel like I'm very good at deck building at all. I need to watch your video on with Jeff Jones, right, on deck building. Yeah, I need to
I
watch it.
mean, yeah, not to sound like I'm bragging, but it is a good video though.
Oh yeah, no, you have good
So,
videos.
yeah, it's good. He is like he's just his mind is incredible. I think he's amazing, like for your games. So yeah, the video is very useful for deck building. But it's also one of those things where like you just need to be playing for a long time and like probably talk to people that know how to do it to sort of get their perspective on things, because like if you don't know where to begin, what to look out for, you won't really know. And I'm still struggling with it myself. Like I think I've gotten better, but like I'll always talk to Emilio and we'll like discuss things together, and he like has his own like views on stuff and it helps me a lot. So I think it's like the most important thing to talk to people as well. Although sometimes it can be like really hard when you don't really know like who to talk to, and sometimes the person that you're trying to get info from might not be the right person to do it
Yeah.
with, like I don't know, a random at locals. And I'm not dissing, but like sometimes they just have their own like opinions and stuff, and it's like wrong, but you won't really know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess it's just one of those things where like just takes a lot of time and effort and practice.
Yeah. Plus, sometimes I have really bad ideas. Like, you know the card Fog King?
No.
Okay, Fog King's a level 7, but you can normal summon it and it'll have 0 attack. And it
Okay.
prevents your opponent from tributing monsters.
Okay.
Maybe everyone, actually. So it stops Nibiru, it stops Lava Golem, it stops Sphere Mode.
So like as a tech for Kashtira, I'm assuming.
Yeah. So I got really into it. And I was like talking to everyone at locals. And I was just like, bro, this card is insane. And like my locals was like, dude, you had the best idea ever. And then I went and I talked to my pro player friends, and they're like, that card's garbage. And I was like, I spent so much money buying like the freaking secret rare Fog Kings, and I'm just like, oh, I hate my life. So I don't know. We need help sometimes.
No, we do for sure. I remember like when we started playing, we didn't really like, we had no idea. It was probably like a month or two in. And I remember we were like talking about how you can make Naturia Beast in Dyna with Jurakeolo and a level 4, right? And we were like, oh my god, that's amazing, that's insane. And I was like citing the package, and I was like going off on like bragging about it on locals, like, oh my god, I'm gonna make Naturia Beast. And then everyone's like, you need an Earth tuner though. And I was like, oh damn, you know, Aeola's not an Earth. And I was so embarrassed. You know, I just stuffed everything in the deck box, and I was like, that was such a good idea though. So,
Oh man.
you know.
We did once have a good idea of putting Raigeki in Flinder, and like everyone told me that was a bad idea. And then Henko Chow, who got like second place at a YCS, had Raigeki in his Flinder deck, and I was so mad.
And then probably everyone was like, that's the best tech ever. That's amazing.
Yeah, I watched the deck profile where Tom Box was like, wow, Raigeki and Flunder, what a good idea. And I was like, I hate it here. The same thing happened with Amor Factor Pain. Do you know that card?
Sorry, Amorph what?
Amor Factor Pain?
What does it do?
It's a ritual monster that when it's summoned, it makes your opponent skip the main phase.
The turn skip? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So,
I didn't know the name, but like the one in Dredge right?
Yeah. So I read that card when I was going through my bulk, and I was like, this card's insane. And so I was like telling everyone about it. And they were like, no, you can just do stuff in main phase 2. And like it negates like, you know, the extra deck card. I just thought it was insane. But everyone's like, no, it's not. And so I was like, fine. I put it away. And then several months later, someone tops the YCS with a more Factor Pain.
Yeah.
And I was like, I hate it here.
I mean, it just goes to show that you need to trust yourself more, right?
I don't know, but I also have really bad ideas, like Fog King.
I mean, okay, yeah, it happens.
Yeah, we had, but we're learning. I
Yeah,
think it's just
for
a good sign that, like, I'm using my brain to try to think of text and stuff like that. But,
I mean, that's great.
yeah, definitely. Let's see. Okay, so, like, have you had any bad experiences in Yu-Gi-Oh? Because I watched your video about the DMs and stuff like that.
The tier list?
Yeah, the tier list. Very creative idea. Very cringe comments. But, like, for context, basically, she took all the weird comments she gets as, like, a female, and she made a tier list of, like, you know, cringe, scary, etc. And then she put the comments on the tier list. It was a very interesting video, but it was very, like, cringe. Not you being cringe, it's, like, the comments were, like, cringe.
Of course.
So,
I got a comment on that video. Someone was like, because I do a lot of tier lists, and someone commented like, that's so on brand. She literally made a tier list, and then someone was like, she's actually thinking of like where to place the comments, because I took it very seriously. But yeah, like there was a bigger I don't know, a more important thing than just me just making fun of it and messing with it. Of course, it's important to talk about like how women are treated. Although for me, it was just, we came up with this idea and we just felt like it was funny to do it. So to me, it was like literally just trolling. I had a lot of fun doing it, but yeah, it is important to talk about and to highlight those things. Because the community can be very like unwelcoming at times. Although again, I'm going to like say that it's different for me here, just like when we talked about regionals, because our community is very small, right? So I didn't really feel that way when we started playing here. Like I didn't feel unwelcome, I didn't feel weird. My locals are, you know, they always everyone was really nice. But also, I was the literally like the only girl, and I was also like married. So like
Oh,
it's going to be weird for someone to try to come up to you and like be weird if your husband is literally like 5 meters away dueling someone, you
oh
know.
yeah.
So I
You have
didn't
like a
really
buffer, a protection.
like, yeah, like everyone was just like, I don't know, they just respected it. And we always like, because we started playing together, it just always felt like we're one package, right? No one was like, putting us like apart. So we always went everywhere together, like every tournament, all of that. But saying all of that, there still are a couple like weird things that happen to you. Like sometimes like people will just stare, which is really funny to me. You'll like turn around and there's like two people staring at you, and it's like, yeah, okay, all right, sure. And like people would try to cheat you as well because you're a
Hmm.
girl. That's like again a thing. And over here it's not happening as much anymore because our community is small. So like at this point in time, like people know who I am, and I don't seem like a, I don't know, a new girl that doesn't know how to play. Although from time to time you get someone that tries to do it. But when we started out, people would try to cheat me, and it's really what got me into like trying to learn the rules as well, and overall like the rulings and everything, because I just wanted to avoid being cheated.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to prevent it. So that's pretty much what happened. And now with content creation, of course, you get like some of the weird comments, and DMs and all of that. But overall, from what I've been reading, like on Twitter and stuff, I think girls have had far worse experiences than me. So I'm not really someone to, I don't know, for you guys to feel bad about. Like I didn't have a lot of bad experiences, thankfully. So I'm very thankful about that. But it is a thing in our community. Like it shouldn't be how to put this, overlooked. That was the word I was looking for.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so basically there's this group called Girl Power Pokemon, GP Pokemon. And
Mm-hmm.
so they're like a women and non-binary organization that runs like
Mm-hmm.
tournaments for females and non-binary, and they have like a Discord
It's really nice.
server and like free coaching for girls and things like that, or women. And
Mm-hmm.
basically, uh, I kind of posted about how like I was really frustrated with like the treatment of women that I've experienced in this community and the comedy
Mm-hmm.
community, which is honestly much worse. Um,
Oh damn.
and so I posted about how I want to start a community. I want to have female only tournaments. I want to do this. So they reached out
Mm-hmm.
to me and they were like, we'll help you.
It's
So
great.
basically, they're going to help us start a server. And so in this server, we're going to have like female and B only tournaments with pricing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm looking to do one at least once monthly, maybe twice
Mm-hmm.
monthly, which I'll stream on my Twitch. Um, and I'll get pricing and stuff. And then I also wanted to do like a mentorship program. So I thought like, for kind of women navigating the space, a lot of times things happen and they don't have anyone to go to. So I thought it'd be good to have like a mentor program. Um, so, you know, like women who've been in the community who can kind of offer like advice and support. And then I wanted to have like guest lectures and, testing sessions and just overall be like a safe space for women to like, you know, and like they did that with chess. Like when they started having women only chess events, like the competitive nature and the accomplishments of women just skyrocketed. Um, so these women only spaces are like good for the game overall, type of a thing.
It's amazing. I think that's honestly that's great. I think it's amazing that you're getting into this. And overall, like I think it's important that stuff like that is talked about and the stuff like that is addressed, because like you're not always going to be lucky enough to come into a community or to come to locals that are like welcoming. And I consider myself very lucky to be like from a small country and to not have to deal with those types of things that I read about online. And I think communities like that for sure are very helpful. So I think, I mean, props to you for doing that. I think that's amazing. Hopefully more women will feel encouraged to get into the game, because like I I'm of the opinion that it shouldn't really matter, like overall, your gender or what you identify as or whatever it may be, like it should not matter. I think it's like literally the only thing that's important is your outlook on the game, or like I don't know if you're competitive, your skill or whatever. Like I don't think we even should have those, like the parameters of gender and all of that. Like it's just so cringe to even differentiate if we're all playing like the same game. So yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's amazing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and if you want to join or be a mentor or anything like that, I would love to have you.
I mean, hit me up with whatever info you have. I would love to be a part of it. So for sure.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really good. I think it's going to be really good. I'm really
And it
excited
sounds
for
good,
it.
like with the right organization, and like if it's really gonna be like, leading this, it's gonna take a lot of effort and a lot of work. But I support you, so whatever you need, like you can hit me up for sure.
Okay, sweet. Thank you. Uh, Man, I like talking to you. You're awesome.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I enjoy talking to you as well.
Yeah, we're having great times. Okay. So, now we will get into the silly questions.
All right, let's get into the silly questions. Let's do it.
Okay. Um, oh shoot. Okay. Uh, Chamber, parlor, or kitchen?
I forgot their names, but it's the green one for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, I think she's cute. Yeah. Okay.
She's cute.
If you could have one card off the ban list, what would it be?
If I can have what? One card off the ban list?
Yeah.
One card off the ban list. Let me think. Like, I mean, I was a huge fan of Thunder Dragon, so I would probably want Colossus back just for the sake of it, although it wouldn't do much. um, but like, I would love to have it. I'd love to have it back, or like overall, just as a very broken card, like just put Graceful Charity back, right?
Oh yeah. I was thinking about that card the other day. I was just like looking at it because I collect cards from the anime and I put them in a little binder. So like I have cards
Very
that
nice.
Yugi played and like Kaiba played, and I was looking for Change of Heart, which I needed for my Drytron deck, but I couldn't find it. And I knew I had like a really nice like old Change of Heart, but I have no idea where it is.
Nice.
Yeah,
Oh damn.
yeah, it sucks. And then I saw Graceful Charity, and I was like, what if this card came back?
What if it did? Yeah.
Oh my god.
No, but like I think it's better than Pot of Greed though. I think it's like the best card on the ban list probably.
Yeah. Do you think Pot of Greed can come off the ban list?
I mean, there's probably arguments for it. Like, just I think some cards are much worse than it. It's probably not coming back though. But like, yeah, I guess I could see it.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm very against Pot of Greed coming off the ban list. I think that's like a ridiculous argument. I just keep seeing it on Twitter, and I'm like, no, man. That's like there's a reason Upstart Goblins that went, okay? Like, Pot of
I
Greed
mean,
is just
yeah,
like, you know, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But, well, I'm not sure. I don't know that much about Yu-Gi-Oh! That sort of thing. Do you have any advice? So a lot of people that follow me are like casual players, but they want to become more competitive. Like that was me.
Okay.
That's like I was casual and then I
I mean, it's
became
all of us, right?
competitive. Yeah. So
Yeah.
how does someone move from being casual to competitive?
All right. So I think the number one thing you need to realize right from the get go is you're gonna have to invest a lot of time into it. So if you're not ready to do it, if you're not ready for that kind of commitment, you probably shouldn't do it, because then you're gonna try to be more competitive and go to events and still be bad, and then you're gonna feel bad and stop. So if you know you're gonna, okay, I'm gonna want to commit a lot of time, and you actually do it, that's probably the way to go. So a lot of time committed. So what to actually do with that time? I think the best thing is just to just play a lot. And it's funny giving this advice because sometimes I feel very, very scared to start playing, especially to learn a new deck and like just throw myself in a pool on Dueling Book. It frightens me a lot. But I still think it's like the best thing to do is just to play a lot, because you're gonna learn as you go, not only the deck but like the actual game, as opposed to just theorizing or doing test hands, although that's great as well. But I think like actually playing is probably like the best thing to do. And then it just really depends on the person, right? You can like write stuff down. I like to write stuff down, for example. I always write combos down and all of that, because I like to see it, because I have some kind of like photographic memory or something like that. Like that kind of memory, right? I need to see pictures in front of me. So if you're that type of person, like write it down or something. Or if you're not, just watch a lot of videos or listen to podcasts if that's how you remember stuff. And overall, probably just watching content is very helpful. I mean, I like to believe it, like I make the content, right? So I think it's cool to watch other creators and get advice that way. Going to locals as well, like with locals it's kind of weird because you don't know what kind of people you're going to run into. So just for like the community side of things, I think going to locals is cool and all, but if you're trying to actually test, like it takes a lot of time to play IRL. So if you're really trying to grind it, like just from the like logical like perspective of like you having to power shuffle and do all of it and just do the moves right with your opponent. So if you're just trying to grind a lot, probably just spend a lot of time on TV. That's
Okay.
that's just what it is. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, DB. Ugh. Like, low rank DB is just, my god, I'm trapped
Slums.
there.
It's the slums of DB. Yeah.
It's like I try to get out, but I just can't get out. And I also, like, I kind of have a short temper. So if someone's an asshole and, like, pisses me off, then I just, like, quit the game. Because it's, like, more important for me to, like, not be irritated. But then they win. And I hate it.
Yeah, and then you're giving them rating as well. I think that's like a whole nother topic, just talking about how to mentally deal with DB.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's important that when you're like low rated, you just leave the games even if you're losing rating, because it's not gonna hurt you as much as like when you're high rated, obviously, and then you can like move on and test again. So I think like the most important thing is to really distance yourself from the rating and just being like, okay, I'm just here to test. It does not matter. It doesn't matter what kind of person is on the other side. Although for some reason, and maybe that's only me, but I always encounter the nicest people on DB, and I'm not even kidding. And they'll like talk and chill and whatever. So
Oh,
funny. And
wow.
all of my, like everyone makes fun of me, and they're like, why you're way too nice when you're playing on DB. That's why you like, encounter all of these people. But I've had so many like conversations with people and stuff, and they've been very chill. So I don't know. Sometimes you just run into those types of people as well, I guess.
Oh, man. I remember when I was playing Flunder, like, I think it was for YCS Pasadena, there was this Flunder player that, like, spent an hour talking to me about, like, Flunder strategies and, like, how to beat, like, Tikaboo and, like, you know, Golden Edge and, like, all these cards. And he just gave me so much advice. And I was, like, blown away.
Yeah, some people are nice.
Yeah. Shout outs to that Flunder player. See, not all Flunder players are bad.
That's probably like the only one.
Oh, Flunder. I miss that deck. I had some good times with that deck.
I don't.
I mean, Kashira is basically Flunder.
It is
Yeah.
like just fuck both of them, honestly.
What deck are you playing now?
So I ordered Despia because last format I was playing Jacob Slayer and I really enjoyed, like I said, I enjoyed the hell out of that format because Jacob Slayer was a great matchup against Tyr. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I started playing it quite late because I was playing Tyr first, and then Tyr was like, I felt like I wasn't good enough with it to be competitive with everyone else playing Tyr. So then my husband started playing Tyr. Like I said, he's better and he was amazing with Tyr. And I let him have the deck, and he had a regional top with it and all of that. Like, he was great. And then I switched to Draco Slayer again because I love pendulums. So I just kept playing that, and then the ban list happened. And with Kashtira like becoming that powerful post the ban list, with you like having your zones locked, Jacob Slayer is just not a great choice anymore. Even though there's some arguments like to play it, I guess, if you're going to that type of event like locals or something, if you're not going to be going up against Kashtira. But yeah, I was like, okay, I need to get a deck. And since Despia is quite cheap to acquire and it's probably going to be good like for some time, unless he gets like severely hit, but that's not going to happen probably because we won't get a ban list for the next couple of months. So yep, it's Despia now.
Okay, sweet. Alrighty, so how do we find you?
How do you find me? Like the socials and all of that?
Yeah.
Like pretty much everywhere is just ShadowRabbitYGO, so you can search it on Twitter. I have an Instagram, and I have a Twitch channel as well, although I don't live stream, but I plan to. I mean, I'm like emotionally getting prepared for it, so I might do that as well. But on YouTube, it's ShadowRabbitYGO.
Okay, great. All right. Please like, comment, subscribe. If you like these podcasts, let me know. I will continue to do them. And if you really like them, let me know, and I'll get them on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and things like that. So basically, thank you all for tuning in. I hope you have a wonderful day. Catch me on Twitch, Tuesdays, 6 p.m., Saturdays, either 2 p.m. or 6 p.m., depending on what I'm doing. Follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/fifthrateduelist. And we are gonna have a duel, so check YouTube for the duel. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
And because I hate men. I'm kidding.